Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
And I'm Melody Arista.
Are you getting used to this now?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yep.
What's this, like your fifth show? Fourth show? Fourth, fifth?
I don't know.
Well, this is our 75th show. Should be honored to be on it. 75th show. We've done 75 shows now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. So, what'd you do yesterday?
Move dirt. No, we didn't do that yesterday.
No.
Oh, we went to go get wood.
Yeah, we did that. So we went to Durgan and Crow and got some 10-inch. Ooh, there's Steve. No, that's not Steve. Got some 10. Sorry about that. Sorry. So yeah, went to Durgan and Crow, got wood, and then we went to this other guy. His name is Bruno. He's in Springfield. That we got some 6x6 hemlock and red pine because he didn't have enough hemlock, but for the barn, which somewhere. Oh, there we go. Here's a picture of it. So it was quite the load of wood we got, and yeah, no, excited, making progress, trying to get things done. So this will be for the lean-to off the barn that I started last year that I never got a chance to finish. But these will be the posts going up and then across. And then I'll just put probably 2x8s across it and metal roof, and should be done soon. So, yeah, yesterday I moved dirt. So United brought in 8 loads of sand, and I just spread them out, trying to get everything level for the house. Still, even the new transit and checking it, still just doesn't seem possible that the slope. So I took a string. I ended up using a tape measure, 100-foot tape measure, because I couldn't find a string, but go from one end to the other and put a level on it, and it's level. So it's just an illusion, I guess, that it looks like it doesn't need to go as high as it does. But so getting there though. Yeah, getting there. Yeah, see, here's a picture right here. It's all leveled out, and I tend to show up with some pictures up too, of just kind of update everyone as we do these things. But this metal stakes here is where the slab's going to go, and then I marked on each stake where the ground level needs to be, and it's just the back corner here by the tree line is the one that needs to go up like probably 2 feet on the front one and 3 feet in the back one. It just doesn't seem it, but apparently it is. So, but we're getting there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of work, but it'll pay off in the end, right?
Yeah.
So, trying to think what else we got. I think Steve's going to call in today. If not, we'll just call him. He said he messaged me yesterday after the show and said oh, hey, I sorry, I just got your text. And I was like, well, we're done with the show now, so we'll do it tomorrow. But, yeah. So, trying to think of Lydia. What do you got going on today? We got the show. Probably going to move more dirt because we still have to finish that.
I'm watching JJ and Bo.
You're watching JJ and Bo. It's Nikki and Steve's dogs.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting, really. I went in the house and he's barking his head off in there. I'm like, oh my God, be quiet. Yeah. I went to the garden last night and we got some more tomatoes. I got a cucumber. There's actually a few more cucumbers out there growing, even though the plants are looking like they're about to be toast. And then the corn, like almost all the stalks of corn, they're still not ready to pick yet, and then I still don't see any pumpkins on there. Tons of flowers, but no actual pumpkins. And then we trim the Brussels sprouts because I saw a picture of like the Brussels sprouts are in the, like they grow from the bottom up and they grow like close to the stalk. So I got like a 5-gallon bucket of trimmings off these 2 plants because they just gotten huge like that. We brought them down and me and Adelina gave them to the pigs. They loved them. Tried to give a couple to the cows, but they really didn't seem to care. I was like, oh, the hell with you. I just give them to the pigs. So, yeah. And then, yeah, we got a school board meeting tonight at 5 o'clock. Show up. The agenda's posted. There's a bunch of things on the agenda. A lot of it's informational, but I know one thing that was been pretty cool is the last couple of days I've seen the progress on the snack shack down there, or the tower, or whatever you want to call it, at the football field. Yesterday were second stories on it. I think it's going to a third story. I believe that's what we discussed. So snack shack in the bottom, then the announcing, like Steve Smith and Jeff Miller do the radio thing there, announce the game, and then above that I believe is going to be where the coaches would go, and then on the roof, I think it's on the roof you could have like camera people or something. But so I'm either wrong and it's not 3 stories and then the roof, or it's 2 stories and the roof. I don't exactly remember, but it's still shorter than the last one, so I think it's going to be a little taller. But yeah, it looks like the maintenance department are doing it, and they're zipping right along with it. So it's getting there. So yeah, this weekend, Apple Pie Festival. On the Common, 9 to 3. And then handing out backpacks at the SAU. They have, I believe she said 250 backpacks, brand new backpacks, with school supplies and books also. So please come down, take advantage of that. Check it out. And yeah, and then check out the Apple Pie Festival, obviously. And I think they do a book sale thing the library puts on too. And then they have apple pies everywhere, and it'll be a good time. It's supposed to be a nice weekend. Still, the weather's pretty nice out there, so we've been fortunate. It'll start to change soon, though. You can just tell, like, it's getting cooler at night, which is nice though, because it's a little bit warm. I'm ready for like cooler weather.
I'm not.
I'm ready for cooler weather, but I'm not ready for like fall. I hate winter. I love fall. Hate winter. Yeah, not fun. What's your favorite season, do you think?
Summer and fall.
Summer and fall? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, me too, for the most part. Sometimes spring and fall if we have a nice spring, but I hate winter. I don't know, I just don't like it.
I like winter when it's not too cold.
Yeah, but it seems to always be cold. Like, it'll be either really cold and we don't get any snow, or a ton of snow. It's such a mix. And it's not worth having a snowmobile because you can use it maybe a week out of the year lately, unless you go up to Pittsburgh. But yeah, I believe the rec center is still looking for help from Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. to supervise students grades 6 through 12. Something you're interested in. It's a great experience. Basically, play games with kids, be a good role model. I'm sure it could be a stressful job, but at the same time, be probably a fairly fun job. Kind of getting paid to play games is pretty good. Yeah. And then the Opera House is still looking for 2022, 2023 season lineup for sponsors. So if you're interested in being a sponsor at the Opera House, get your name on the flyers and different things that they have. And I know Bob Marley, we talked about, is coming up in October. We have to check that out. So, and then the farmers market every Friday, 3 to 6. Yeah. What else can you think of that's going on? I'm waiting for Steve to say, "Hey, I'm ready."
I don't know.
Come on now. Nothing else?
Nothing else.
Nothing going on in your life?
No, nothing.
So boring.
Yeah, my life is boring.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
Your life is a zoo. The house is usually a zoo. Constantly stuff going on.
Yeah, but it's boring. It's not like fun.
It's funny, you guys always say that, but we have all these kids that always come to our house because that's the fun house, and you guys are
Yeah, and
like,
then they
"It's
get bored because they just sit around or
boring."
go outside. Unless
Not-
we go outside.
I think it's the drama of the house,
It's just boring.
right?
Yep.
All right. We do. This is the mean. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. There's one other thing I want to talk about. So, we got our this month's light bill. You know how everything was going up 112%, and so when I talked to someone earlier this week, they're like, "Yes, it's true, it's going up, but it's the supply rate that's going up." So, and the supply rate is half your bill, delivery rate's the other half. So I was like, "Oh, okay, so maybe it'll be like a 50% increase." But so my light bill this month is $626.26. Like, for a lot of people, like, that's a week's pay after taxes. I mean, if you make $20 an hour, 40 hours a week, it's $800. After taxes, that's probably about what you bring home. So that would be your light bill for the month. And then rent would be like $1,500 a month. So, yeah, you literally can't survive out there unless you make $30, $40 an hour. Good times. I just don't understand how they can rationalize such a huge increase. Our light bills are usually in the 300 range, which is still ridiculous, but yeah. So I'm just curious if anyone else has had a light bill similar to this, or if your experience has been different. Reach out and let us know at Tim and Steve Show, nh@gmail. I'm just curious. I can't imagine my bill's the only one that's like that's doubled or really, really close to doubled. So if it's just half the supply rate, 112% of that'd be like a 60% increase. But this is like 90%, so I don't know. But I love all the little charges they always put on here too. There's transmission charge, standard cost recovery charge, system benefit charge, and then there's different rates, which I don't understand why the rates would change. And honestly, just I don't know, I guess. So then there's customer charge, one phase, distribution charge, regulatory reconciliation adjustment, transmission charge, standard costs, recovery charge, distribution charge again. It just, I don't know. Bunch of crap. Yep. Good times. This goes perfect with the meme of the day. United we stand, with Brandon we fall. Isn't that the truth? Jackass in the freaking White House. Yeah. Let's see if we can just dial Steve up. Apparently he's not going to call, so we'll have to call him ourselves. I have to find you in the phone. Tell Steve, just not. It's right here.
You missed it like 4 times. Or he's not going to answer.
Yeah.
3.
Well, you didn't answer. That's nice. Give him one task to do, just to call into the show. No, he could be busy doing stuff with his dad or whatever. I'm not sure. But we'll just get into our stories, and then hopefully he'll call me back. Here's like the hot topic of the day that I heard about yesterday afternoon, and then I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So, U.S., which shouldn't say U.S., should say Biden to forgive $10,000 in student loan debt and extend the payment pause. So, inflation's not bad enough. Electric bill's not bad enough. Things aren't bad enough. We're going to now spend more money to forgive your student debt that you took out, that you decided to go to school. I didn't decide to go to school for you. You decided to go. I get no benefit out of this because I don't have student debt, but apparently I should help pay for your student debt. And I know some of our people out there and people I know, and they are going to benefit from this, which great for them, but why are we, the taxpayers, paying for your student debt? You are the one that went to college. So basically this plan would be estimating $321 billion. So last week we approved the Inflation Reduction Act, which we know is a bunch of BS, for 700 and something billion. And now this one's for 321. So that's in about a week, the government has decided to spend $1 trillion more money that we don't have. And this is going to help inflation, apparently, because if you just keep spending money, it's going to help inflation. So if you qualify for this, if you make $125,000 a year or less, and you're in your household with less than, a combined household of less than $250,000 a year. So I guess if you and your significant other make $125,000 a year combined to $250,000, you still qualify for this. And then the government will extend the pause on payments until December 31st. It's just
Nuts.
It's crazy. Like, you took the debt out. Like, I mean, you have a mortgage on your house. Is there going to be some sort of forgiveness for that? Nope. We're just trying to buy votes for November. And if you remember, so Nancy Pelosi completely caves on student loan forgiveness. Suddenly claims Biden has the authority to carry out the plan, where a year ago she said that Biden cannot just forgive debt like that. It's not legal and whatever. And so she was running cover for him when he didn't want to forgive it. But now everything looks so horrible out there because, let's face it, the country's going to crap, and he's responsible for it. The Democrats are responsible for it because they have control of everything. And now suddenly, midterms are coming up. You notice gas prices are kind of creeping back down again a little bit. We're going to forgive your student debt, $10,000 of it, which for some people that's, a tenth of what their debt is. So it's just nonsense, like completely insane. These people are completely trying to destroy this country. You guys, you and your kids are the ones that are going to be paying for this forever. They're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents. I wonder why, because they keep spending money, so they need to go after you and me, so that way, we can pay our fair share, which basically you just work for the government, because they just give out your money. And people keep forgetting, this is your money. This isn't the government's money. The government has no money. Your money. You have the money. You pay the taxes, not them. It's just insane. Like what does mom always taught you? Like, if you, first of all, you don't want to get into debt, right?
Yeah.
Both your brother and your sister worry about that with college. Like, I don't want to get into debt, leave college, have all this debt, and now all of a sudden, we'll wipe $10,000 away. So if you just paid off your student loans last year, well, that sucks because they would have wiped some out, but now you're not going to get any of that money. Like, Mom always says, if you can't pay for it then and there, you shouldn't take a loan out for, like maybe a car or something, but needs and wants. But the government just spends money like they print it. Just I don't know. I really don't know. It just, I guess November can't come fast enough, but will it really matter, you know? Because a lot of these people that just, you know, get their debt forgiven are going to be like, oh my God, I should vote for a Democrat because they're forgiving my loans. Well, you should be thinking at the same time, your gas prices are twice what they used to be. If you're in New Hampshire, I'm sure anywhere really, the electric rates and everything has to have gone up. So in New Hampshire, it's doubled. So now it's a $626 light bill for last month. And then going into winter, it will change. It will get higher, most likely. You can't afford to live, but, oh, they forgave $10,000. So, woohoo. It's just insane. It is completely freaking insane. And it was another thing I saw the other day that we're going to send another $2 billion to Ukraine. Once again, of your money. Like, how much freaking weaponry do you think you need to fight a war? Billions of dollars. Like, it just doesn't even make sense to fight a country that you can't beat anyways, that has nuclear weapons, that at some point, you know, we'll just piss them off because they said not to get involved. And what are they going to do, send nuclear weapons over here? Or, like, I don't know. Stupidity. Complete freaking stupidity. Here's another video. Redonkulous, there you go. So, this is scary stuff, and it almost kind of could fit kind of the local thing because it's school related, you know, but you have a 12-year-old girl tries to bring a gun onto a school bus after getting into a fight with another girl, police said. It's crazy. Watch this video. It's the news out of New Orleans. Check this out.
There have been 2 violent incidents involving students from McKinley Academy in New Orleans in less than a week. Last night we told you about a 12-year-old girl who allegedly brandished a gun outside of a school bus last Friday. Well, today, 2 children were hurt and hit with a stun gun during a fight on another school bus. And Paul Murphy's joining us live tonight from outside that school in the 9th Ward with the latest on all of this. It's disturbing, Paul.
It is, Katie, and today we spoke with the mother of those 2 Achille Academy students who were injured this morning, and she told us that the lack of safety here and on the school buses is sickening and scary.
New Orleans police confirmed 2 children who attend Achille Academy were injured during a fight on a bus on their way to school Wednesday morning. It happened near the corner of North Claiborne Avenue and Bartholomew Street.
Students on the bus were involved in a fight. One of the students was in possession of a taser-like device and struck another student on the bus.
The mother of the 2 students says her 13-year-old daughter and 9-year-old son were tased by a female student. She said her daughter is doing okay, but her son was taken to Children's Hospital with a possible concussion after falling on the bus.
Tomorrow I have to send my children back to school into the alligator's mouth because they have to go to school by law, but we don't know what's going to happen.
The mother says this incident and one on Friday where a 12-year-old girl waved a gun outside another school bus full of Achille students show there's a serious problem at the school.
I want Orleans Parish School Board to know that our kids are not safe at school. They are not safe when they get on a bus. They are not safe standing at the bus stop.
Kate Mihawk, CEO of Crescent City Schools, which runs Achille, said she knows the 2 incidents have shaken parents' trust. And she said schools should be a place where children can grow up and thrive.
We welcome the conversation today about how we can do that better and make sure that our students are safe in our buildings, but also outside of our buildings.
Community activist and investigator Byron Cole says he's been contacted by a number of parents about the problems at Achille.
They're not getting what they need in terms of guidance at school, and there's also another factor. We're talking about bullying, right?
The student accused of using the taser was arrested and charged with 2 counts of simple battery.
I'm getting sick of it, I'm getting tired of it, and there's nothing being done. The adults are not being held accountable, and I feel like it's completely unfair to the students.
And police did make it clear that Friday's gun incident and this morning's incident on the bus are not related. In the 9th Ward, Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that girl like waving the gun outside the school bus, like that's terrifying. And then
She's literally younger than me.
yeah, she's 12 years old. Like, where the hell did she even get a gun?
Obviously, her parents or someone.
Or some gang or something. I mean, it's New Orleans, so it's a city, but and then the 2 kids that got tased on the school bus, like
My
crazy.
age. One's my age and then one's 9.
Yeah. It just,
Nuts.
what are we doing as parents? Like, what the hell? Like, and you have kids bringing guns to a school bus because they get in a fight. So what's that 12-year-old going to do? They're going to shoot somebody? They're going to kill somebody because they got in a fight with somebody? A disagreement? Like, this is the problem. You show no value of life. And this is, well, why do you think these kids do this? And there's no consequences for anything anymore. We're constantly letting criminals out. We're changing laws. We're doing anything to basically make law-abiding citizens criminals, and then criminals just get to run the streets, apparently. It's seriously like freaking Gotham City and like Batman. Like, the asylum is running the freaking country right now. I never thought I would see the craziness that this is. Like, but can you imagine 12 years old? And I wonder what the penalty would be. Like, it should be extreme. Like, that girl could have like totally, if she got on the bus, she would have shot somebody, shot a couple people. Like,
Yeah, if she was angry at the time, she could have just...
right? I mean, she's wielding the gun around. I mean,
Yeah.
accidentally goes off, shoots an innocent person. Like,
She'll probably get away with it.
yeah, because these kids are getting away with things. Like, if you're 12, so the worst they do is put you in, even if they murdered someone, the worst they do is put you in juvie until you're like 21 or 25, and then you get out, and then you don't have a criminal record because it gets sealed. And then that person can go do whatever. Like,
It's crazy.
it's crazy. It's nuts. 12 years old. So what's that, 6th grade?
6
Yeah, 6th grade. A 6th grader.
or 7th. 6 basically. going
Right,
to
probably
7th.
6th grade though. Yeah, 6th grade. I mean, jeez, like at what point? You know, you got to protect your schools. You got to lock the doors. Having an SRO is really important and those things. But like, Jesus Christ, we're gonna have to put a metal detector out before the kids can get on the school bus. Like, it's just, I don't even. It gets to the point where it's hard to even talk about this stuff, or even because what can you say? What can you say about the world that we live in right now that's completely just gone nuts? I mean, there's another story, and I didn't even put it on here, but there was a 12-year-old armed with a gun that stole a minivan that got arrested. And, like, what 12 years old stole a van, had a gun? I mean, if you were an adult...
Jeez.
If you were an adult and stole a minivan and had a gun, that's probably 7 years in jail or something like that. 12-year-old, what the hell?
They're nuts.
Yeah. This is another shithole, California, where you couldn't pay me to go to California. You couldn't pay me enough money to live in California. I feel bad for the people that live in California. And this explains why the state that's losing the most people in the country is California. So California expects to ban the sale of gas-powered cars. So their plan is that in 2025, so on Thursday, which is today, so I don't know if this was, it's today's date on it, so Thursday, California is expected to finalize a ban on the sale of new gas-powered passenger vehicles by 2035. This is from the New York
You said
Times.
2025 before.
Excuse me, 2035. Sorry, 2035. So 13 years from now. Yes, 2035, excuse me. The move is expected to push more states to enact similar measures. Currently, only 12% of cars sold in California are electric. New regulations demand that all cars of the model year 2035 or later are free of fossil fuel emissions. Right. You remember California where they have to like have rolling brownouts and blackouts because they can't charge the cars now. They can't power the system they have now. So if you live in California...
Ginny Wright.
Talk to anyone else? My God.
I thought it was Steve.
I know. I'm like, oh, Steve's calling in. No. What the hell? What kind of this is the United States of America. You have the Constitution. We're a constitutional republic. And you have these freaking morons in California telling you, oh, you can't buy a car anymore after 2035 unless it's electric. How about you pound sand? This is America. I'll do what the hell I want. It's my tax dollars, first of all, that put these morons, well, some morons voted these people in, and then they use your tax dollars to work against you. We all know how electric vehicles work. So great, right? So let's see. You can drive like 2 or 3 hours on a charge, or it's like 300 miles or 200 and something miles. But then you have to charge your car for like 12 hours. So imagine trying to drive across the country. So it takes like...
Unless you go to one of those stop things, it takes like an hour.
No, they're not super fast. They just, like, that's just a plug-in thing. Like, a full charge is 12 hours.
Yeah.
So, you're driving across the country, right? So you're gonna drive
you
from.
need to go see family member that's passing.
Yeah. So you're gonna, or say you're gonna have to quickly get out to Ohio. So what's that? 1,000 miles maybe. So you're gonna have to drive 300, stop for 12 hours. Drive 300, stop for 12 hours. Drive 300, stop for 12 hours. So it's gonna take you days to get there, unless you get on an airplane. But so California's gonna ban this, but Steven Spielberg has emitted 4,500 metric tons or whatever carbon this year flying his jet. Bet this law won't apply to the rich people in California, though. Why? Why do people in California put up with this? I don't understand. Like, California finally started smarting up and started to have a bunch of recall elections, getting rid of district attorneys and other criminals that Soros and these people put into power out there by dropping tons of money in. But why? And they had a recall election, and you guys still in California elected Galvin Newsom. Like, really? Good times. Like, dumb. Just completely freaking dumb. Here's an interesting one that, you should have faith in the system, though. Tray of mail-in ballots suddenly discovered in a post office nearly 2 years after the election. Now, the good news is these weren't ballots that were filled out. They were just ballots that were mailed to people to fill out and send back. I mean, I guess if there's any bright side to it, there's that. But check this little video out.
Baltimore City voters just received their mail-in ballots. Unfortunately, they're from the year 2020.
2020. Well, the Baltimore City Board of Elections is now trying to figure out how that happened. WMR2 News' Mallory Safase spoke with an election official about this extreme mail delay, because if it matters to you, it's a matter for Mallory.
Mail-in ballots are supposed to be prioritized, but for a block of homes in southeast Baltimore, theirs came late, nearly 2 years after they were supposed to be delivered.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Zeke Cohen, Bill Henry.
All candidates on the 2020 ballot, but Nick Frazone is just now receiving his.
I received my 2020 general election ballot on August 6th, 2022.
And so did his neighbors on this block in Highlandtown. Nick knew his ballot had gone missing on September 29, 2020. An informed delivery email notified him that his ballot would be delivered that day.
And then it just never came. So then I had to call the Board of Elections, and then I had to go in person to get a replacement.
How did this happen? The U.S. Postal Service didn't say. A spokesperson declined our interview request and said on August 5th, a tray of undelivered mail was found in a Baltimore facility. The tray's mail was from year 2020 and contained what appeared to be 26 blank ballots mailed from the Baltimore City Board of Election to addresses with a Baltimore zip code. Those mail pieces were delivered Saturday, August 6th.
It would have been nice if they would have contacted us so that voters would not have been confused.
Baltimore City Election Director Armstead Jones learned about the mishap from some of those voters. And as a part-time postal worker in college, Jones knows mail can sometimes go missing.
Individual pieces can be lost. Having a tray lost is a little different story. Has to be sitting somewhere around somebody, and somebody needs to look and see what it is.
He said the State Board of Elections meets with USPS on a regular basis to discuss any issues, and this one will be addressed. And if, for some reason, you don't receive your mail-in ballot, to contact your local Board of Elections for a status update. If it gets down to the wire, head to a local polling place.
They will give you a provisional ballot to fill out, and then if we do discover that there is a ballot here from you, then the first one will count.
A third of all votes in the primary came from mail-in ballots, proving many voters prefer this convenience. Nick, however, said it's not worth the risk or the wait.
You know, it's supposed to be easy to vote this way, but when the post office just misplaces them, we can't.
Do you think you'll ever go back to mail-in voting?
Probably not. You know, if there's like another pandemic, I will get a hazmat suit and I will just go in person.
USPS did not say how the tray was discovered or how it was missed, but that it deeply regrets the late delivery of these mail pieces, and it's going over processes and procedures with employees ahead of the general to ensure a successful election in November. For WMAR 2 News, I'm Mallory Safaste.
So this is just a reason right here, like, you shouldn't be able to mail your ballot in. If you want to vote, you show up in person. If you are not able to show up in person because you are bedridden or something, it's unfortunate, but I guess you can't vote because the integrity of elections is more important than, well, everyone has a right to vote. You do have a right. This is where it is. This is the times, and obviously they need to have access for wheelchair people to get into the place. But no, this is where there should be no mail-in ballots. You 100% have a right to vote, and it is this date from this time at this location. Show up. If you can't show up, that's unfortunate for you. It's not my problem. If you're working, it's not my problem. It's your problem. You're the one who's responsible for yourself to get to the polling place to fill out your ballot and do everything. Show ID, which I know we do here in Newport, but it seems like most places you just, I don't know. I don't know. You hear it constantly, things. But here we go, you know, a whole tray of ballots this post office just suddenly has. So everyone wants to trust this whole mail-in ballot system. I find that funny. There's this thing out there, like, so if you trust it so much, then take $500 cash out of your pocket, put it in an envelope, address it to yourself, and then mail it. I wonder how many people out there would be like, yeah, I'll do that. No, I don't know any people. They wouldn't. Would you mail $500 to yourself, cash?
No.
No, because it wouldn't show up. It's hard enough to get packages today. Things disappear, and you know it's crazy.
Half the time it ends up at someone else's house.
Right? How many times have we got boxes at our house, and I'm like, it's not even the same road. Like that's this road right here. I mean, it's close, but it's like, and you come to the house so much, I don't get it. Like,
I get like a package every day.
Yeah.
So like, it's like you should know what address ours is.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just, you know, you can say whatever you want, but the 81 million vote man in office right now, if you really believe that, I don't know what to think, because I don't know how a guy in a basement that didn't leave his basement could get 81 million votes. Like, ask yourself that question. And why do you hate Trump so much? These people out there that hate him so much. He's so horrible. The one president actually put America first. Man, what a horrible thought. And just people, the media has so many people brainwashed. Like, think about it. Everything was good under Trump. Gas prices were low. Your IRA was going really great. Like, it was growing like crazy. The stock market was good. Highest ever. But the media told you need to hate Trump because why? Because he's not one of the swamp creatures? You know?
Yeah. Also, like, people that, like, voted for Biden always complain about the gas prices, but they're the one that voted for him.
Yeah, it's the cost of voting stupid. But we all pay for it, of course. So, and you still have all these people that will still vote this November for the same people in there that are robbing you of your tax dollars, that don't give a crap about you, you know. Like, who in their right mind could vote for Maggie Hassan? Who? Or Annie Custer, which is even worse. Who could vote for you? My neighbor has a sign out for them. And I'm like, oh, so you're either extremely wealthy, because it doesn't seem to affect really wealthy people. You don't work for a living anymore. Or you're just very uneducated, I guess, which, in the case of my neighbor, I don't believe it's that. I believe it's probably a lifetime Democrat that, is probably fairly well off, which I have no problem if you're well off. If you worked for it, sure. But how do you keep voting for these people? You can't afford anything anymore. They keep spending money. Inflation is getting worse and worse and worse. Wait till this winter when you try to heat your house. Then what? It's all right. Joe Biden, he's in there. He's going to fix everything, right? All right, today's game of Who Do You Trust More? Just before we did the show, I found this. I'm so excited because it's an FBI one. So who do you trust more? The FBI or Pee Wee Herman standing behind you in a movie theater? You don't get that one because it's like before your time, but
I know Pee Wee Herman.
yeah. Do you know what he did in a movie theater?
Nope.
Okay. We won't say. It's not really, But most of these people know that, so that's a good do you trust more. And it's FBI related. So
They're so happy.
yes. A couple more here. Well, two more, I guess. So, police confirm that Marjorie Taylor Greene was swatted after a fake 911 call reported shooting at her home. So I don't know if you've ever seen any of this, or if you know what swatting is. There's been a lot of shows on TV about it. Basically, there was this one, I watched a show about this guy who literally, he'd use like fake phones and whatever, and basically you'd call and say, I'm at this address, and there's a man with a gun. So the FBI shows up, or not the FBI, like the SWAT team, whatever, shows up. That's why it's called swatting. And, guns drawn or whatever. Well, this kid kept doing it. I say kid, he was a young guy in 20s. Kept doing it. Well, then there was one where the guy came out on the porch, and he didn't have a gun, but he looked like he had something in his hand. I think it was a TV remote. And he was shot, and he was killed. And they finally found the guy, and I believe he got life in prison for it. But he thought it was a game, and people think it's a big game that you call, you fake a 911 thing. So
Prank
obviously,
call. That's what it's called.
What's that?
A prank call, basically.
Yeah, they just call it swatting because you're gonna
Yeah, swat.
saying there's a gunman, or in this kid, like I said, kid, but young adult. I mean, he did this over and over and over again. He was good with technology, so he could hide his, information enough that so that's what happened. Or he'd go back and forth with this guy he didn't like online. They're enemies or whatever, and he'd set this kid up to be swatted. And so now a representative in Congress now has this happen at her house, and apparently it's a big game. It's crazy, Of course, there will be no real backlash from this because she's a Republican, and this really stood up against a lot of the BS in Washington. But if this was like Pelosi or someone, I'm sure, you'd probably be all over the news everywhere. But not that it would be okay for her either. It wouldn't be. I just don't understand. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with people? If you dislike this person so much, then why don't you run against her? Or why don't you run for Congress, and you can stand on the other side of the aisle and you can talk about things that, she's against or whatever. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get people anymore. Like, it's all fun and games, right? It just seems like the laws for us are one way, but then other people, it's just like, whatever, slap you on the wrist. Yeah. Crazy. And the last thing, and personally I feel like this is my funny story of the day. This is just my personal opinion, but the Uvalde Funeral Homes refused services for the Robb Elementary School shooter. So the piece of crap that murdered those 19 students and 2 teachers, apparently they refused to give him a funeral, so his body's been sitting there for a month or whatever. So I don't feel bad when one dropped. I'm sure his family, I get it, he has a family, I'm sure his family has different feelings about it, but I'm standing on the side of 21 people that he murdered. And honestly, well,
That's his problem.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, if you're a terrorist and, you know.
He obviously felt good about shooting people.
Yeah, apparently.
Killed 21 of them.
Yeah, killed 21 people. So, oh well, that sucks for you. As far as I'm concerned, they just freaking throw it in the incinerator and throw your ashes out in the freaking trash. But that's my opinion, of course. Trying to think what else. Was just about the end of the stuff I was going to talk about today. Short shows, but which is fine. We life's super crazy right now. We've got like 2 months to get a house.
Finish a house.
Yeah, finish a house, a garage. Yeah, lots to do. So once again, tonight, school board meeting, 5 o'clock. You can also watch them on NCTV or Facebook on NCTV, broadcast them there too. You can zoom in. I know the information's on the agenda, which is posted at the SAU's website, so sau43.org. So if you just want to watch, or you can also do public comment via Zoom if you couldn't make it, or I know the 5 o'clock thing is tough for a lot of people, and at some point I've kind of thought about mentioning like, hey, what if we did public comment like we do now in the beginning, which is where it has to be by law, but maybe we could have like an additional part 2 if you couldn't make the meeting at 5. So at some point I want to mention that to the board just to see what they, what their thought is, because at least for me, and I know Steve feels the same way, it would be we want everyone's voice heard, and I feel like most of the people on the board feel the same now. I feel like we have a good, strong board that is definitely on the right path. We have a good interim superintendent who is fighting for the rights of the school and the kids and everything, and so I feel like we're on a good path. Good news is it sounded like that football tower and snack shack thing wasn't going to get done, and now it looks like it's going to be done before the first game, so that's awesome. So shout out to the custodial staff, Rodney, Dave, and Scott I saw out there, and whoever else that has helped do that. I believe La Valle's donated the material still, and Stevens, I believe, is the one that poured the pad and all that stuff. So, and once I have a formal list, we'll make sure we talk about it, because shout out to these businesses that time and time again do great things for our community, and support school and support anything in the community. So, remember the Apple Pie Festival? Beautiful weekend. Check that out. And like I said, hopefully we talk about so much that these backpacks will be gone soon, and hopefully if there's other kids that need them, we can get more. Hopefully we're not talking about Monday how it's like, yeah, we only gave away 50. We want to give them all away. If your light bill is like mine this month, you definitely could use the little boost here. It's really not charity anymore. It's like you can't afford to live anymore, it seems. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
Kind of more awake today.
Yeah.
Although you yawned a few times. Do you not sleep at night, or
I do.
You just not a morning person? Or?
I am, but I just don't. I don't know.
You're just bored.
No.
Because you need constant mind stimulation.
No.
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 All right, guys. Hopefully, we'll see you at the board meeting tonight. But if I don't see you around town, we will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Bye.